Good morning and happy Sunday. This is Physics Bang here, and I'm going to be doing a VOD review for Beauty and Discovery, a up-and-coming Moogle Cup runner. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be joining the Moogle Cup 3, so it should be fun. Or is it Moogle Cup 4? I don't even know. The new Moogle Cup. So we're gonna be doing this. We'll see how it goes. Get it started. I guess just a quick disclaimer. Since this is a VOD review and Beauty and Discovery's goal is getting faster, some of my commentary may be a bit nitpicky, but that's kind of what the goal is finding wherever there's some time being bled out for whatever reason and making a note of it. And, that information can be really helpful to change what you're doing throughout the seed, habits you may have picked up that you're not realizing, stuff like that. So if it comes off being a little bit nitpicky, that's the point. So doing it right. Let's see how it goes. So Sabin Realm and Strago, pretty good. It does give us a really nice grind check over at Imperial Camp as needed. Cool. Throw is something we're definitely looking to capitalize on with Strago if we can. That's getting some skeins if we can find them, and some earrings for sure. I do agree with going to the Moogle shed here, or the Lone Wolf shed, just getting some loot, particularly things to sell as needed. Striker's a good one for some money. It's actually a pretty good armor shop for later if you ever need to pick up more armor. Right, let's see how your shopping goes. Pretty quick to sell, not bad. Yeah, that looked pretty good. Nice and fast, went from top to bottom, didn't have to jump around too much. Yeah, good idea to just pick one of those up and maybe keep in mind that Rage Ring. Rage Ring is good for in case you get Umaro and you end up using him, or also for Merton protection. Funny enough, it does, I believe it negates fire. It's either negates or absorbs, but either way, it protects you from Merton. That's the important part. I usually recommend returners from here. Yep, that is a good idea. Plenty of loot here. Get another item shop. Since we're in the market for skeins, it's a good idea just to peek it and see. Maybe you can pick some up, because those really do solve early game problems. The quote in the community is throw means go, as long as you can get stuff for it. At least we got a rod. That's nice. Routing all looks good. Fixed dice also huge for early game. Ooh. About to say, yeah, maybe like 14's a bit much. Yeah, pretty good. Bit of a double purchase on the smoke bombs, but that's pretty minor. Probably South Figaro next. All right, so my recommendation while flying is, let me see if I can get the map up real quick. So what I tend to do is whenever I'm at my location, I will fast turn, which you can fast turn by holding R or L while turning it. I'll fast turn to line up to the next dot, because that little front dot right there is where you're facing. So Well, maybe not in this case because you're not in the airship, but either way, I can't tell. It's too blurry. But I will aim that dot toward where I'm going and fly to it, and then I'll strafe with Y to narrow it down. And you want to kind of land right here because that puts you in a spot where you can just walk right in. And then when you exit the town, you'll pop right in it and just smash A and go. So you want to be as accurate as fast as possible. That way you don't have to do too much extra walking. Lets you get in your airship faster, and it all adds up because you land, 20 or 30 times in a seed. Every single time you do that, you're losing a few seconds. So adds up real quick. Heck yeah, Thunder Shield. Bolt 2 action for Realm. And shield cracking if you need it for later. Always remember that shields are tools. If you run into a bad situation, you can just slam that into whatever is giving you grief and make it disappear. Hero rings are there. That's kind of it's good to know if you find some big weapons later. Also, if you end up with a lot of money, you could always come back and buy 2 of those for earrings if necessary. Yeah, pretty willing to sell heavily. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Super Ball's a good idea. It does open up the possibility of doing a dragon early on. You do mention that you kind of go in and out of the shop sometimes when you miss a thing or two, so just keep that in mind as you continue to shop. Try and get it all done in one so you don't have to do multiple load screens. Aegis Shield's pretty good. Good money if necessary, but also just good to equip. And I do agree with going to the basement here. Of course, there's a lot of loot, good chance of finding something decent, but also you just kind of need money. We're still looking at Zen Thief. We're still looking for skeins. We're still looking for earrings. We spent a bunch of money on the Super Balls. So that means that we're just going to be a little short on money, so the basement can help supplement that. Another shield. Excellent. Definitely really good on the consumables. You got the multiple rods, you got multiple shields, you got multiple Super Balls. Uh, Another overshoot, so it takes 2 or 3 seconds each time you have to get to your airship. So you've already lost about 15, maybe even 20 seconds with overshooting returners, and then having to back up to it, undershooting South Figaro, and then overshooting Zen. So we're bleeding time pretty heavily on the flight right now. So I would recommend dialing that in as much as possible, getting a little more accurate with your landings. Shopping still looking good. Routing so far looking good. Decent armor there in case you need it later. Behemoth suits and diamond armors. Rods, yeah. Yep, agreed. Just put that in the back of your mind. Weapons aren't really that big of a deal early anyway. You don't have an offering yet. You don't have, the levels to make a VK really, really pop off. So it's not super imperative. So that's interesting. What we're going to do, let me go backwards a little bit here. So what you want to do when you get in the airship is you want to aim for vector. So instead of going to World of Ruin and then strafing all the way there, which takes like absolutely forever, just turn, go to vector. Technically, you want to go slightly northeast of vector, but if you can't remember that, just aim for vector and switch to World of Ruin, and you'll be pretty much right next to Zen, World of Ruin. It's like right in this region. So you just do that, and you'll be really close. The other two that you'll be likely to be heading to during the World of Balance and then heading to World of Ruin is South Figaro World of Ruin and World of Ruin Narsh. So South Figaro World of Ruin is kind of like right over here on this little continent, like on this little cheek here of the, whatever you want to say, like right there, like right in that general vicinity. And World of Ruin Narsh is right here, very close to that little zigzag. It's more like up here to the upper left a little bit, but again, you can aim for it. Now the other one that people tend to miss a lot is Barren Falls, which is just like this line right here. It's slightly to the left of it. So if you're up here in like Imperial Camp, you can go straight south and you'll be like just to the west of that line and you'll be at Barren Falls. So those are some common overshoots or can't finds, that kind of thing. So just, just for FYI. But yeah, instead of doing the strafe thing, heading all the way to Zen, you could just fly to Vector real quick, switch over, and you'd be right next door. Good call. You're not doing any equipping or anything like that. I might have even argued you didn't even have to save if you're not going to fight anything. Though the menu is probably not necessary. But at least if you use the menu to save, you didn't also do a bunch of needless menuing on top of it. I'd probably only save before this if I'm going to take monsters in a box, or if I'm looking for a specific thing toward the end of the seed. Like if I'm looking for a character and I don't see a character holding up the house, I would just reset and leave. Or vice versa. If I'm looking for an Esper and I see a character, I'm just going to reset. But generally, if I'm doing a safe check, I don't bother going in the menu and saving. Skip. What do we get? What do we get? Skipped a little too far. Minerva. Well, meh. If someone can use it, that would be cool, but we have no natural users of it, so who knows? Relic shop, looking for earrings. Falling up short, but picking up a gauntlet might be a good idea. I want to say it's the third time we've double shopped, so we want to kind of maybe slow down just a little bit and make sure we're processing all of the items in the list before we exit out, if possible. Even if you take an extra second or so, that's fine. Again, it adds up throughout the course of a seed. Yeah, just running shoes for the fixed dice is fine. We landed a couple steps away from the auction or the opera house, so it's about Each step is like a little under a second. So I think we're about a second and a half roughly for walking into the place, and then a second and a half walking back to it. So that's 3 seconds, even with just 2 steps. I just want to drive in the fact that like it seems so very minor, but when you do it 20 or 30 times, you know, you're looking at several minutes over the course of the seed, which definitely makes a huge difference. Dangerous dragon to start for that very reason. Good roll in the Super Bowl. Yeah, chuck another one. Fingers crossed. We get a good roll, he should be dead because our scaling is not very high. Good. Well played, well played. No notes. Let's see what we get for it. All right, cool. Offering's huge. We have fixed dice. So we should be putting that on Sabin and having those fixed dice on standby. You know, we don't need to use it every single time with all these rods, but if we run into something particularly chonky, we want to have that in our back pocket because the amount of damage it can do, it can wipe a boss off the map immediately, especially early on. But we did not equip the offering, so I guess we're not looking for fixed dice. And I'm well known for being a fixed dice hater, but I will never hate on fixed dice, especially early on. It can just be so incredible. I think in your head you're probably going, "Oh, there's VKs for sale and there's offering that I got now." So that's awesome. But you didn't think about what you could use it for right now and then transition it into VK later. Who's our first boss? This is filthy. So I definitely wouldn't have Sabin do that because his magic is just absolute nonsense. But funny enough, Ogors just apparently take a ton of damage to Thunder, which is very interesting. And I don't think I would have used the Pearl Rod on him. He's kind of a potato. We already have level 2 spells. We have fixed dice, so I would have maybe saved that Pearl Rod. That felt a lot like, I don't know, hitting a cockroach with a nuclear missile, right? And to top it off, not only was it kind of not necessary for the power of the boss you used it on, but Pearl is slow. So chuck a dice, use a fire 2 instead or something. Probably would have been the better move there. The biggest issue is that Pearl Rod hits really hard single target, so we don't have that utility anymore to like single target blast, especially since we're not using the offering with fixed dice right now. I'm gonna skip a little bit because I don't really need to watch cutscenes. Okay, these are all revivifiable. The Ings do absorb fire, which is always fun. You always think that, you know, they're undead and fire would work, but they will absorb fire. Funny enough, you can use ice on them, but yep, you'll learn the lesson here today. Oopsies. Probably I would just do Revivify, if I'm being honest. 2 Revivify is probably fine, because I doubt this kills. Yeah. At least it wasn't a dangerous fight, and it's good experience. A bit of optimization available there, but it's whatever. Not a big deal. Sweet. I'd be thinking pretty hard about going to South Figaro World of Ruin very, very quickly. The sooner we can go to South Figaro World of Ruin for those half-off goodies, the better we'll be. But we're already really close to like Barren Falls, so I'd probably consider doing Barren Falls. We got a bunch of rods, we got some spells, we got fixed dice. We just go do that real quick, and then maybe consider doing some Edgar stuff. can go and do, you know, engine room and into the throne and get the double check in after we check South Figaro. Where I'm at right now. It's working out for you now, but I would just, in general, always avoid using magic on Sabin. His magic is trash. And what you're frequently going to get into, especially as you get into harder flag sets, is you are going to waste a turn. Oh, I would have taken that fight all day long. That's incredibly good experience. And like the worst thing he can do is Aqua Rake, but you have decent elemental resistances and a lot of levels, so I doubt it would have threatened you at all. Would have just been like a free couple of levels for kicks. But yeah, by getting into the habit of using someone like Sabin for magic casting, especially with no earrings at all, you're just going to kind of get into that habit of not switching to your more powerful caster. That one was fine. The landing strip there is very awkward. Might have considered switching a shield over to him just to have him learning a level 2 spell just in case. Ooh, and Doom Gaze. See, this hurts. This is the seed telling you. This is the seed telling you cracked your Pearl Rod on, you know, the really like super weak boss when you could have used it on him and done like quad 9s. But you have alternatives. I would highly recommend, because of the insane magic defense of Doomgaze, you would want to stop casting regular magic, use your rods, and also crack a shield in his face. He's going to have a lot of life. He's got a stupid amount of HP, a stupid amount of magic defense. So using rods negates magic defense, using shields negates magic defense. He's also weak to fire, so there's a good chance cracking a fire shield to do nearly quad 9s. The other thing is, you have fixed dice, but you're not using them. And you have an offering with fixed dice that you're not using either. So honestly, like 4 rolls of fixed dice could kill this guy instantly if you get good rolls, right? So we've left a lot of offense on the table to get through this. But with this setup, I would probably have Sabin just throwing dice periodically and hope for a good roll, but Realm would be maybe cracking a fire shield because she's going to have the highest magic power. And then if things get really sketchy, I would even burn the second shield, but I'd rather not burn 2 if I could avoid it. Pummel's just peanuts at this point. We could also do Aura Bolt. Aura Bolt would probably be better because he is weak to Pearl, and Aura Bolt is a Pearl element spell. Yep. Absolutely. Fire Shield would have been the move, but is it worth it at this point? Probably not, because of the damage you've done, you know, over time. But it did lose you, like, I don't know, probably a minute. How long did that fight actually take? Out of curiosity. So we started at about 1840. So it was about a 2-minute fight that could have been done in probably 20 to 30 seconds. So we'd be looking at about a minute and a half of time loss just on that boss alone, just from not considering the fixed dice offering or the flame shield cracking. So Umaro, I would be thinking for the time being, I would probably go straight to South Figaro, put Edgar up front for the half off. Go ahead and do the engine room and the throne just for some extra checks. Check the shops there so that I could get some more Phoenix Downs because we're very short on them. And then once I'm done there, probably don't do Ancient Castle, but you can choose to if you want to. And then go to World of Ruin. Go to World of Ruin Narsh and do the Yeti stuff. Yeah, I mean, you can come here for some skeins or something. There's some bolt edges. Oh, that's another instance of hopping out of the menu. I'm gonna bring it up every time just to drill it in your head, you know, especially that one. That takes several seconds just to get back in there because of the text. Okay, Albrook's an interesting choice. The thing is, you know, we have Edgar already. We're going to be going to World of Ruin, so checking some World of Ruin shops would be good, especially World of Ruin, South Figaro. No checking for earrings. That one I can kind of understand. It's kind of a walk. Where are we headed next? Okay, going for VKs. That's fine because you were in the vicinity. They're not going to be very useful yet, but they will be later, of course. Some elixirs probably. One elixir should be fine. All right, so stabby old man. Love it. Yeah, we would just keep him with the HP plus 10 for now. Not ideal, but it works. We're still sitting on that offering, not bothering putting it on. We also have Strago with a VK, but he is in the back row, so he's only going to be doing half damage. The only weapon that can really be used in the back row in terms of like swords is going to be the Illumina. Of course, fixed dice can be as well, and sniper and those things. But in terms of the really, really big weapons, that's the only one is the Illumina. Check the relic shop. We did not check the relic shop. Sad. Relic shop's like right there, so it's always good to just peek it. One thing to remember is, you know, earrings, if you get 2 of them, that's a 50% increase to your magic. So every 2 spells you cast, it's going to be effectively 3 spells worth of damage. So it all adds up when you can kill things in 1 less cast, right? Especially bosses. So throughout the course of the seed, the sooner you can get some earrings, the more benefit you're going to see. We chose to cast a spell here. We could have just swung the VK and probably killed him in a very similar fashion, but, you know, 3 times faster because of the fact you didn't have to wait for the whole spell cast animation. We had already damaged him with Realm. A little bit of combat optimization would be a really good idea, just making sure to do the fastest ability possible to handle the job, and anytime you can make that not magic is best. Magic is inherently slow. The less you have to use it, the better off you're probably going to be. This is another reason why the earrings are so big. It reduces how many casts you have to do. Yeah, we can just kind of skip through this. No big deal. A couple spells. GG. Skip some more. What do we got? Yeah, I probably wouldn't have come to Hauser's, but it worked out really well for you. All right, so we still have the fire shield we could crack if we needed to. We don't have a pearl rod, which we would have burned on Doomgaze anyway. Charm's a bit unfortunate on Sabin, especially because he's just going to do an attack on you now, and he has fixed dice, so someone might get gambled to death. Lo and behold. He is weak to fire, so that's good. Fire and Pearl would work. This is an applicable target for the Fire Shield as well because your offense is not geared toward dealing with Chatternook. And the amount of counters he likes to throw out, as you can see, is pretty disgusting. He can be a bit feisty if he wants to be, but I would definitely be considering slamming a shield into his face.
At this point, I'm just fixing to get the hell out of this thing.
Ah, there's the fixed dice. It rolled like trash, but, you know, if it didn't, it would be cool.
Oh, this is bad.
So I saw you pop out of the menu from Blitz. Blitz actually does work for weight tricking, so it would have been fine just to stay in that.
Okay.
And then put in your command and go. But you didn't get afraid of all the lightning getting thrown around and took him out without worrying too much about Strago. Strago is the VK user, so he misses out on quite a lot of experience, but we'll catch him up by the end of the seed, I'm sure. That's with Rage. Not my favorite. Relic Shop. Relic Shop! Why are you going into the weapon shop when you could have gone to the Relic Shop? I know you're looking for some big weapons, but we need earrings. It's 90% of our offense right now. Insert the Game of Thrones shame meme here. Shame, ding, shame, ding, shame, ding. Super Ball, not worth the money. At this point in the seed, it's, no. I'd just rather throw the dice. Especially with the offering. And we could be considering doing Search the Skies pretty soon too. Cullingan's fine first, but we can like hop out of here, check our gear, heal up, fly up, and just do it. Get it out of the way so you don't have to worry about it anymore while flying around. That would be a good move. Still checking the shops. Fine, there's not a ton that we're still looking for except for earrings though, and there's no relic shop here. But of course there's Ragnarok, so you know, it do be like that sometimes. Ragnaroks are interesting. So at this point, I'm kind of thinking, what would I do? I see Ragnarok's there, but I don't have enough money. But we haven't been to the Coliseum yet. So we could consider going to the Coliseum and seeing if we could just get some freebies. But the other thing I'd be considering, Ragnaroks are expensive, but we do have a natural user of Ragnaroks with Edgar. We already have Atlas armlets. We already have a gauntlet. So like we would really like to have one of those Ragnaroks as soon as possible. So you can actually use the Coliseum as a bit of a bank. If you go there and there's a fight that you can do that has some good money items, some good selling items, you can just do those instead for lack of any offense. You can go for offense first, but looks like we are not doing Coliseum just yet. But yeah, I have sometimes used Coliseum as a bank. Go in there if there's like Genji armors or Force armors, Force shields, Minervas, just like high tier stuff that I don't need to use. I could just do a few of those fights, get a few of those pieces of whatever it is, go sell it, and buy the big thing I need. It's a cool strat to use. You don't get to do it very often, but when the seed calls for it, like Cullingan having Ragnaroks, this is it's screaming for it. Come get the freebies. Get all the free money. I'm gonna skip. I'll be going for the dragon. Yeah, blue dragon's fine. We got, I think, a bolt rod still. Yeah, thunder rod, super ball. So, okay. So I'm just going to talk about order of operations a little bit here. Sabin has like 14 magic. He's just absolute garbage with magic, but she's the killer, right? So all you got to do is kind of flip the two. If you're not going to use your Thunder Rod, have her cast the spell because her magic power is so much higher. She could use a Thunder Rod or Bolt too, and he can throw the ball because he's going to suck. You know, he sucks at magic. So don't have him using your Bolt 2s. He's going to not hit for much, like at all. Chances are it won't kill either. So if that was Realm, it would have been closer to 3,000 damage. So again, optimizing magic is huge. That probably still won't kill. Yeah, so we're...
Totally damaging, doing too much.
Unfortunately, we attacked with extra characters we didn't necessarily need to, which provokes a bunch of counterattacks. So we've lost the time casting the spell. We've lost the time to counterattacks. We've, we're just kind of bleeding time here from optimization of attacks. So I think with Realm doing a Thunder Rod and Sabin throwing a Super Ball, you would have just killed him in 2 hits.
Just cast it directly on me,
instead of the like 5 or 6 attacks that you ended up doing instead. So it all, again, you'll hear me say a lot. It all adds up and a minute here, 30 seconds there, 4 seconds here and there. It all kind of just fades into, by the end, you're looking at what?
There's a big stick.
10, 15 minutes that could have been saved across the seed.
Really be ripping and tearing with that big stick quite yet, but
That was pretty good. We need a lot more levels before we really consider it, but it's nice to have.
not have perhaps sleeping bag Strago, but it's okay. Only 3 Magicites so far. Feels rather low.
This guy's not bad. He is weak to fire. We do have some fire. Weak to Pearl as well.
Imagining he's going to be quite weak to this, since it's wholly elemental.
He is, I'm pretty sure he's weak to it, but even if he was, Edgar's not really a good magic caster, and Aura Bolt's not really a good spell either, so you won't really see the fruits of that from an Edgar Blitz user, unfortunately, especially with no earrings. This is another candidate for some rods. Our offense is just really, really lacking right now. So, also just another shout out to Fixed Dice Offering, could have solved this in one go.
I probably should just pop that Ultima, shouldn't I? Alright. Also, at this point, I should
Oops, that was my bad.
yeah, I'm kind of
I was checking something in Discord, and apparently it covers...
that I'm getting a little lost in the sauce on that.
I guess because I covered it. Oh well.
Now until he
Didn't miss a whole lot.
maybe. Okay, flame shield. Okay, that's
Another shield we can crack.
flame shield and Palador, MP, stamina. Ultima's nice for the time being.
Ultima's kind of a weird thing to put on sets or on Edgar because we're really aiming for that Ragnarok pretty soon. So he's going to have it, but he probably won't have to use it very much. I probably would have taught that to Strago to give him a little bit of extra gas to use. Having Strago and Realm just using Ultima is good to solve problems because it's going to do a bunch of damage, especially single target. While Edgar's magic's probably not very good, and we're going to be gearing him toward physical anyway. So just priorities a little bit there.
Ooh, man, if we had another dead Atma, okay.
Atma, honestly, if you've already learned Ultima on Realm, just use Ultima because it is a split damage spell, but for a single target, you're going to do tons of damage. Oh, you did put the offering on. I actually missed that. So anyway, still in the back row though, so we're not getting the maximum damage. Okay, this one's looking good. The dice are kind of trashing you, but
Sick dice.
all right.
Right.
Do your best to stay out of the menu while the boss is acting, because his ATB is stopped while he's acting, but yours isn't. So you only really want to be in the menu when you are acting, not when he is acting, or any boss is acting.
I think in the back of my mind, I'm thinking to myself, how far do I dig for those earrings? There's obviously a few shops I can get into that would be quite helpful, or that could potentially have it. But you just keep hitting shop after shop after shop that has nothing in it. It just feels really, really crummy. So
You are mentioning the, how far do you dig for earrings? Honestly, I only dig for like one additional shop out of the way for earrings early on. before I continue that thought, you can warp from Umaro's cave, so you don't have to jump down. Save you time there. I'll usually do one extra shop in opener. That's not a place that I'm already going to be at. So I usually do Thamasa because Thamasa has all the shops up front plus all the loot that you can pick up along the way. So you kind of get a double up on it. And then I just make sure to check every shop that I come across. So if I am already in Jador doing Owsers, I will check the relic shop. If I've done Serpent Trench and I'm in Nikea, I will check the relic shop. And I'll just peek it as I go. You know, you have Edgar, which you haven't checked the half off shops for yet. Okay, hold on. Let's take a look here. So we have Force Armors for Phoenix Downs. Boom. That's like, I don't know, 20,000 gil each. So a couple of those equals one of those Ragnaroks, right? What else we got? Got Wing Edges sell pretty good. Got some VKs, but not really necessary. We got Genji Shields for Shurikens. Boom, right there. You just do a few of those if the fights are good, and there you go. There's your Ragnarok. This is a really good bank. This is a really good bank. There's not much else you need, but it's a really good bank. And no. That's a huge no. He's got like 1 trillion HP, so we wouldn't want to do that. I'm gonna fast forward because this won't be fun. Yeah, nope. Too much HP. Too much HP. Okay, this is interesting. So if you just look at the map a little bit, you can look at the distance from here to here is much shorter than here to here. So I love map wrapping, but only if it's going to be effective. You know, like if you're over here in Jador and you're trying to go over here, then yeah, going west makes sense. But this one, much faster drive just to do a quick turn over there and aim at it than map wrapping all the way over. Looks like it's about probably almost not quite double the distance, probably like 50% longer. So just time lost. All right, we need Edgar in the front. I hope you remember that. Of course, we're looking for earrings. Half off would be great. Earrings are super common in shops, so they're super common in general, but sometimes the seeds just do stupid stuff and like throw them in shops nobody checks. Unfortunate. All right, so no Edgar up front. That means we have probably forgotten that he's supposed to be there. For those watching that don't know, Edgar does get half off on the shops in South Figaro, World of Ruin only, not World of Balance. But he also gets half off in the shops in Figaro Castle, World of Balance, and World of Ruin as long as he's in the front. But he does need to be in the front for it to work. Got to be in your party, front row. He's got to be the sprite you see when you're running around. And there's an Illumina. Oh, and we're going to get it for full price, aren't we? We've gotten rid of all of our consumables. We have no elixirs, no X potions, no X ethers, no mega elixirs, no got very little in the way of items in our inventory at this point. Oh, that hurts so bad. It hurts so bad. Ooh, it hurts to do that at full price. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Gauntlet Atlas Armlet. We need that Atlas Armlet from Sabin that's doing absolutely nothing. We need that on Edgar for the 25% damage boost. And that extra money that we spent on the Illumina could have been spent on a hero ring instead, which I think is World of Balance South Figaro. We could have considered half off Illumina, head to South Figaro, World of Balance, pick ourselves up a hero ring, give that to Edgar, and boom, we got an offering build, not an offering, an Illumina build just ready-made. Whoa, we're doing a crazy walk. So we're going to have to make that walk again later. So, like, this is another optimization thing. Look, so, like, so you're gonna have to, if you're coming up this way, you're gonna have to go all the way down and then take all these extra steps. So you're doing, I don't know, 6 or 7 seconds this way to get over to the cave. You could fly, and then the next time when you're walking back, the airship will be here and not all the way up here. So you're gonna have to make this walk again. Either you come from the bottom and you zigzag all the way up here instead of just stopping here, or you come up the top and you go down, and instead of taking like 2 steps that way, you got to take like 10 steps this way. So um, overall, quite a large time loss. So we don't want to be over here. We want to park over here right by the cave. Like, actually, I'm a little curious. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 seconds difference.
I would save so much money on that damn thing. I'd still have my ammo weapon essentially. Makes me sad. This is very interesting. I feel like I see Big Six in treasure chests often enough, but this feels like the first time I've seen.
Oh, heck yeah, cyan. But we're going to skip a lot because I don't need to watch all this. What do we get? What do we get? Anything interesting?
True Nate's interesting. Oh, hashtag never punished.
Oh, you lucky duck. You lucky duck. I don't know if you're going to use... Yeah, I mean, you could probably use the Atmo weapon in a Moogle Cup seed because you're just going to have a little bit more levels, a little more gas than you would have in a Atmo series seed. But, yeah. Especially if we could find a Genji shield or a Genji glove. That would be so good. Let's see what we got. Land's huge because, I mean, we're looking at Dome of Dream, Dome of Siege, very, very fast checks. We got World of Ruin Zozo, so Mount Zozo to get the dragon. We got lots of good stuff. Ultima's probably a good call here. It reduces the chances of just getting Wombo comboed. He's not as bad as Inferno, but it's still just get the arms out of the way and then single target down the body, maybe with the VKs that you have set up. I'm gonna say it again just because, you know, while you're watching it, I want to make sure you you hear it over and over so that the next time this happens, you don't do it again. Strago is still in the back row, so we're doing half damage when you use him. So definitely needs to be in the front row. I'm gonna skip. I'm assuming you're not going to do Ancient Castle because we have so many other checks still available to us. We got Mount Colts, we got the Peekable over at Phantom Train, we got the 3 checks over in Dome of Dream, the check in Dome of Siege, the check in Mount Zozo, we got RNG Cave, we got the Throne coming up. We got a lot of different checks that we can do that aren't extremely slow. Okay, we are not doing it, it looks like. I would be considering checking the shops to the left and right with Edgar in the front for half off in order to get probably some more Phoenix Downs, because we're probably pretty low on those if you haven't bought any more. I don't think you have, but we are not doing that. So from here, you can just walk straight east and then straight south, and you'll pretty much be there instead of doing any other moves. It looks like you're getting south, which is a little bit longer. And then you would just go north right up in front of the cave, but instead you got to make this long walk back south Figaro. Interesting choice. So probably what I would do here is you've already forgotten about Search the Skies and you weren't ready. So just be like, I'm not doing it. Not yet. I'll just go do Dome of Dream first. And then the next time I get in my airship, I'm going to do Search the Skies. It'll save the up and down sort of thing that you did there. Not the end of the world, but again, small optimization. Sometimes you just got to be like, whoops, made a mistake, and you just go with it instead of kind of backtracking it. It's not the end of the world anyway. I mean, unless it's a strength +2 Esper with, like, you know, quick. Yeah, this is a pretty major time loss straight up. Likely Realm, if she had used Ultima instead, would have just instantly killed him. And then you could have gone ahead and just attacked with the Illumina with Edgar. Gone from there. Yeah, unfortunately, Ultima would have still been the better choice there. Mostly because it wasn't Fire 3. He is weak to Fire, but he's with just Fire 2, it's not going to do quite enough. to be able to kill him with just a single Illumina swing at the level that you are currently at. We still don't have the Atlas armlet on Edgar. It's still on Sabin, and Sabin's not even using it. So we want to have that on Edgar.
Rip.
Little extra shield. Crack that in Kefka's face later. Absolutely do Dream. It is one of the best checks in the game. We're going to skip a lot. At this point, we should not be doing much looting either. So I just want to see if you go in the back room and loot. Nope. Good. Good. Love to see it. I'll skip a lot here. Don't need to watch all the maze. Yeah, it's fine. Ultima. Because your single target offense is pretty lackluster, a quick ultima to knock out the arms just to stop yourself from getting wombo comboed is a good idea, and then you can single target him down with the VK and the Illumina. Go ahead and skip because he's pretty much dead already, and then I'll see what we get for the reward. Okay, cool. Esper. Main thing I'm looking for right this moment is not really routing, but I just want to make sure you don't go into your menu and look at Carbuncle before I start skipping in. It doesn't look like it. Good. Terra, that makes a quick Welk check available. You can actually, right here, you can just wait right in the front. Don't walk up here. Just walk right there in the front. Just stand there. And you don't have to worry about, like, moving back and forth. As soon as the cutscene's over, it'll automatically transition you and save you a little bit of time. That chest was on your way, and it was right in your path, so it's fine to loot that. You didn't go out of the way for the other one, which is good. You do not need to flip switches in here. You just go up, down, and you're done. Same thing here. You can just stay right where Realm is, right where you're at right now, and just wait for the cutscene to end, and it will transition you. Looks like you already knew that. That's good. Yep. Good. Caught yourself. The other way works too. It's not much. It's a little slower, but not by much. I think it's like, I don't know, a second slower or something. No biggie. What we want to try and do is not overwrite our save point here. Good, good, good. Very well done. I don't know if we checked Carbuncle. A lot of nasty stamina grossness. I don't think I need to watch this fight. What do we get? Don't think leader was going to pose much of an issue. Oh yeah, that's right. It was Terra. I don't know why I did that. Check the throne. Didn't see it. Dead. All right. Well, it's pretty bad luck. Definitely hoping for an extra Esper. We are guaranteed skip at this point, pretty much. I mean, we are. We might not get skip at unlock, but we're guaranteed skip. We'll be at 20 checks if we get 3 Espers in a row. So at this point, I'm kind of looking at my characters and like what are the fastest checks I can do? I would be looking at Doma Siege to see if I could get a quick Esper there. Welk is a quick Esper. And then we kind of go from there. I would start doing peakables at that point. If we can get 2 Espers, we do peakables from there. Check Mobliz. There's an Esper there, we're good. You can check Phantom Train. If there's an Esper there, you're good. Get your unlock that way, and then figure out how you're going to get your skip. But I would probably do Doma Siege here. Yep. We've already checked our Espers. We don't need to equip the VK. Oops. Oops.
When I forgot to kind of process that she's my own damn character, so it's fine. Jeez Louise, man.
Let's see what we got. We got Fire 2, but we still have Ultima. So Ultima's still probably the preferred without Fire 3 available. Yeah, Lumina we don't want to do because he has such high defense that you're going to do no damage, and even if Pearl procs, it does 0 damage. VK, all of the bonus damage will go through. So there is no reduction in the bonus damage at all with VK. It ignores defense. Same thing with Atma Weapon. Atma Weapon ignores all defense. So those are some weapons that you can use, especially with offering to cleave through physical defense enemies. Esper? Cool. So again, we need 2. We'd be looking for speed here. I'd probably go check Welk and just try and get that 8th Esper and then do some peaks.
I'm really debating about looting because I'm also thinking to myself, I haven't gotten a lot of good stuff, and there's potential for like a stick in there.
All right, so looting here I would probably not recommend. So like, let's go through what could we really be looking for at this point. We have Ragnaroks are for sale in Kolingen. We have half off Illuminas for sale in South Vigoro, World of Ruin. We have gauntlets for sale. I want to say it was like Zen, maybe. We have an Atma weapon. We have a VK. We have fixed dice. We have an offering. We have tons of defense. So, like, what exactly are we looking for here? I'd say the only thing we would really want to find is a Genji glove. Everything else is just like completely pointless. So there's like a saying that some people will say, and that's like, you only need to win, you don't need to win more, right? So we have all the offense we need. Let's go through our characters and what we have. What we're really looking for is earrings, and we might find those too. That's a possibility, right? But to be even more honest on that one, we can still just go buy a couple hero rings as needed. They're expensive, 20k each, but like, we could probably do it by the end. So going down here is probably just getting money for hero rings if you remember that they're there. But we have Edgar, who is like single target attacking right now, and that's fine with the gauntlet and either a hero ring you can purchase or the Atlas armlet that's currently on Sabin. So he's got an Illumina build already set up and ready to go. Hero ring would be better, but Atlas armlet is fine. If we get a Genji glove, even better. We have Realm, who's casting Ultima very effectively because she is Realm. Even without earrings, she's going to crush it. If you pick up even one hero ring for her, she will do 25% extra damage, and that makes a big difference. Magic Caster, VK offering already set up, right? So he's good to go with VK offering. If we can find a Skull Dragon for a muscle belt, I guess we might, in this basement, we might be looking for a muscle belt or a red cap. Those two things would be really good with the VK. Otherwise, we're just not really needing anything else for Strago. He's good. Front row him, keep him with that 10% Esper. Eventually, he'll be doing something by the end. Nothing crazy. This guy is not much. Either you can make him, like, during Kefka's Tower when you're doing the lanes, you can move the offering to him and do fixed dice offering to cover a lane. Otherwise, he's mostly support. So I think this guy, if you're not going to use fixed dice offering for the end, which I suggest you do not, you would just go teach him all your utility spells. He's the one that's going to use any calmness protection you have. He's the one that's going to use any cure magic that you find. Life 2, Life 3, Vanish, Haste 2, Float, Mute, Doom, X-Zone, all that stuff. That's his job because he's not going to do a ton of damage. He's going to stand around and do the utility stuff, and everybody else does all the damage. So back to my original point, what exactly could we be looking for here? A Genji glove, earrings, or muscle belt, or red cap? So we have like, we're in the realm of like less than a % chance of getting any of those things in here. So the time spent is likely not going to be anywhere close to time gained in what we find. So we should not be doing this at all. Pretty much once you have a ready-made group with enough to finish the seed, you should just stop looting at that point. And it was garbage. But while we're in there, there is a chest down here in the wall. So if you just go right here, you'll go into the wall and there's like loot down here. So One extra one for you. It's actually hidden right here. So normally I would run to the left of it and loot to the right, and that's right there. So I am not gonna watch the rest of this. I'm gonna skip all this. Did I see a splat chest? I did not. Good, good, good. Looks like we're not really looting much. That one's kind of on the way. That's fine. We didn't go in the cave. That's good. Did we loot up here because it's on the way and yelling at you? No. Okay, good, good. You're resisting the siren song pretty well. Can we get an Esper? We did. Okay. So we need to be doing our peakables now. We have Welk. We could consider that for pretty quick, but more like better than that is either Phantom Train. We can peek that, or Mobliz. Those two are peakable. So I would definitely check those for Espers before, you know, just raw dogging a check somewhere.
So I think the other thing I'm starting to think about is older characters are more likely to have espers, right? So or magicite. So starting to look at like science check. I haven't done like
Colts is interesting. Probably unnecessary because of the fact it's a little bit longer and not guaranteed. We got a 33% chance of getting an Esper here. While doing the peakables, we have a 100% chance if they have one, and we can see it before we have to commit to the check. So generally, when you're looking for the last bit of progression, any peakables become absolutely clutch. Now we're going to be one check short of skip by doing one of those, but we could just go do a quickie something or other. You know, we can go just kill Welk. Honestly, shoot, maybe you could just kill Welk. Well, we don't have lock. That wouldn't be enough either. But lock would get you one, and then, you know, you could do Kefka's Tower. Trying to decide, yeah, if we get an Esper here and we're trying to get skip, I would probably just go do Welk real quick. It's the fastest check. Just to get the 21st. Oops. Doing a little bridge dance there. Nice. Skip, 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 skip. Pretty much just going to be an Ultima fight. Yep, I think attacking the top is fine. Waiting for Ultima is also fine. Because you get like triple countered. Every time you touch these guys, they can counter you. So sometimes you can just get, you know, triple counters whenever you do big attacks like Ultima, but you should probably kill... You'll kill red. I don't know that it's going to kill anybody else, though. Yep, that was a good order of operations. You just switched over to Strago to finish it. Should be enough. Still a little low because he's not in the front row. Cool, that went fine. What do we get? Oof. You can go try and do Welk. You're right next door to it. It's fast. I'd say Welk or a Peak. Those are the two things I would recommend. See if we save first. Okay. Nope. So we'll reset out. Check Mobliz. We're committed to peakables. We go into Mobliz next. Oh God, please no. Please no. Please no. Don't do it. No. No, don't do it. No. Oh, this is 5 minutes for one check. And you're already going to be at skip. No. I'd say this is probably not the move. It could be. Let's be real. It could be. Mobliz might not, but we want to check the faster ones first before we commit to the 5-minute check, right? So I'm going to skip this because you have Ultima and all that. I don't really need to watch it. I don't know if you're going to do the dragon. You're not. That is the right move. I'm just going to skip. So I want to see something. Let me time this without the dragon. We entered in at about 102.5. So the 102.5. So we're at about 4 minutes by the end for this one. Which is that hurts. If it was Mobliz, you'd finish that in about 1.5. If it was Welk, you'd finish at about 1.5. So this was guaranteed and it does work, but it was definitely the slower option, assuming one of those other checks had an Esper instead. Fanatics is good for getting multiple checks because the dragon is a check, the high tier item at the top is a check, and the bottom is a check. So you get 3 checks for Fanatics if you do all of them, but you only needed 1 check for Skip, so it reduced a lot of the value that you would normally get. And you're also at 2 Phoenix Towns. You should probably try and rectify that. I love the boldness. All right, so I want to see how you set this up first. Okay, so we can talk this over a little bit. Generally, the middle lane we like to reserve for physical attackers. Even if Realm gets a level or 2, she is gonna maybe gain a couple hundred damage in Ultima. But every level he is gaining and every level he is gaining is going to increase the damage that their physical is doing by so much more than what Realm would gain from it. So we frequently put our physical attackers in the middle to get them as many levels as possible. So my recommendation would be to pick one in this case because he is pretty weak. Well, no, actually, you know what? We could make this work. So she has Ultima. She finishes a lane by herself. There's nothing that she needs, and she doesn't gain levels very well. So whoop, move her over to one of the lanes. Let's put both of our physical attackers in the middle. They gain more levels that way. They get stronger that way, and they go. Sabin, he seems like a potato, but he's got the fixed dice, and you have an offering. So just throw the offering on him. So you do his lane first. Knock it out. Or no, I guess not. Yeah, sorry. You would do Realm's lane first over here. She would finish it. You go over here, you finish their lane, you take the offering off, you move it to Sabin. Run down, finish his lane with fixed dice offering, remove that offering from him, put it back on Strago, and you're good to go. Then you get the most levels in the middle. Now, the reason why physical attackers get more benefits from levels is that in their formula, when it comes to magic damage, it's level times magic power, and that's it. These guys are level times magic power. So you have level factored in twice with physical damage. Therefore, you get double the benefit from getting levels with your physical damage users than your magic damage. So that's why we do middle with physical. She can carry it, he can carry it, these two can carry the middle. GG's, well played, done to go. All right, let's see how we do here. Okay, yeah. Black belt's pretty risky because if he gets punched, he's going to do... Wait a minute, what are we doing? I wouldn't equip anything on a level 29 Cyan. He's not going to do anything in this fight. Narapa's 1 Ultima from death. Whoop, you did Whirlwind. Did that hit at least? Nope. Oh, no. That is, that hurts. Okay, now she's dead. Generally a good idea to not save over your skip just in case you have to back out, but too late now. No validation check? Ooh, your seed's not validated. This isn't official. It's right here. This is the last chest in the game, and it's just like the Ganon's Tower chest, the validation chest for it, A Link to the Past randomizer. It's good manners to snatch that at the end. That way you can say you have validated your seed with the last chest of the game. This is another Ultima, and he dies. Oh, he survived the first one? That's surprising. He had a little over 9,999. All right. As for ideas, so Realm is going to be a big damage dealer. The last thing we want her doing is not damage, right? So we don't really want her with Calmness Protection. We always want to put Calmness Protection on the character that's going to do the least amount of damage. That way we're not sacrificing offense for utility. Sabin, if you're not going to put the offering on him, is going to be your potato. He doesn't have anything. He's not doing much of anything at all. All he should be doing is utility. So he should have Golem so that he can stand around and do his support tasks. Realm can keep, dropping bombs. Everybody else can continue attacking. So she should have something more like utility. Maybe you use it. I don't know if you have like Zone Seek or even Odin for instant death, something along those lines. But your Calmness Protection for tier 3 should be on your weakest character. Physically weakest character, of course. I would generally just not bother equipping off characters like this. It's just you're taking a lot of time for almost no benefit whatsoever. All you should really be doing is hopping on Sabin or on her or Terra and just slapping a Moogle Charm on, and off you go. That's pretty obnoxious, unfortunately. You'll get through it, but you're pretty much just looking like, single target hide on, hope you don't get confused and win eventually. So not much to be said here. We're just going to keep skipping. Looks like it was pretty uneventful. Very nice. Yeah, so I probably would have put Zone Seek on Realm or something, just that you can do a little bit of extra defense. Pop that up. It's basically big guard. Thankfully, Shrey goes automatically in the front row for this fight. And the black belt doing some work. Unfortunately, he got healed there, so he lost some damage. Oh, yeah, no, don't use a shield on this guy. Probably Yeti's going to kill it. Yeah, if not, yeah. Very glad you didn't use a shield on that little idiot. They have very low life, like 6,000 or 7,000 each or whatever. All right, so that is done. Let's check your menu and see what you give for an Esper. He probably already has Siren on, so that should be fine. Yeah, just keep that. It's fine. No need to look at Espers. You're done. You're done. Get out of there. Get out of there. What are you doing? There's nothing you can do with that. You're not learning any spells. At that point, spells don't matter. You're just looking at what's the Esper gonna do, and you just go, 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 go. Like, I'm curious. I'm gonna call it out right now. Let's see. So you saw Siren at 1:14:40. That he already had it. We should be out of the menu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. About 12 seconds that was spent just looking at spells that you couldn't learn because you're not fighting anything. So, that's it. Like we watched Chicken and Jesus the Frog, both of them do a race recently, and they tied And a literal tie within like a quarter of a second. So, 12 seconds is huge in a racing environment. Every second you can save. So we want to be very careful about what we're focusing on in our menus, especially at the end there. We knew what we want. All we need to do, equip the Esper for the ability it does and get out of that menu.
Actually, no. Yeah, because VK is the damage I want to see there. So, let's see. Edgar, Summon, Struggle, Realm, and all the rest.
All right, let's see how we play this. It'll be a little interesting. Your offense is pretty weird. I don't know if we have any instant death for long arm. I don't think we do. We have break, so break could be used for the long arm on the left. But we may not know that, so we'll just see how the rest of it goes. Strago is still in the back row normally. Head just said he's supposed to be in the front row, dude. Get him up here. Oh, look at the damage difference. Look at the damage difference. Ouchies. That hurts.
Wow, 1500 on him is bananas.
So probably
Oh, you're such a jerk.
I know we have break somewhere, so I would want to
Nice block.
find break and use that on the short, yeah, there it is. So I would be using break on the long arm to get rid of it, using the Illumina and some fire 2s on head.
Okay, that's got to be the one hand.
Yeah, using some fire 2s and stuff like that on head to get that knocked down, and then we can go from there. I don't know if we have vanish, but if we do, after head is gone and he's not casting stupid area effect stuff that breaks vanish, we would go ahead and start hitting the short arm and just not taking damage from counter attacks. Because counter attacks are the scary thing right now. I think we may be realizing that we have very few items or healing at the moment. Okay, interesting choice to crack the shield. Healing is a problem. So we do have Blitz with Edgar. So we could be doing Mantra. So Mantra would be a really good one to use here for your healing. If you can just keep Edgar at higher life, you can do RLXYA, and that will get you Mantra. It will heal everybody in the party except for the caster for his current HP split. So it'd be, cut into thirds. But it still is enough to heal people up pretty well. Ultima is huge here. Do we have life 2 or anything? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't see vanish on him at least. Good. We can't break tools, so we'd have to just kind of fight her normal. We are going to be, a little worried about Tiger taking damage while we're not actually trying to kill him yet, because we're always worried about Doom Tusk, which happens when he gets into about 25% of his HP. 25 to 50, I forget the exact. We would also want to be looking at something like shield healing, so we could equip a shield on somebody and cast a spell on them. I'm seeing something that I saw a lot of the time, and that's you're using shields on a character that has just terrible magic power. I would rather crack that shield with Realm or Strago, who has just like better natural magic. It's a good idea, but just the wrong character to do it, because you can see it only did 3,000. Probably Realm would do 6,000, 7,000 with it. Good job with Ice Weakness on Tiger. Gonna be a little worried about 10 hits. 10 hits is gonna suck. So we really want to actually take out Tiger first and then take out Hit. Get those 10 hits out of the way because Magic can't do anything. Like, he can't kill you, but 10 hits can absolutely crush you. And that was all Magic. Unfortunate. It should finish. Oh, he's still alive. Well, I'll be. Ah, Golem. Good call, good call. Multi-summon, yes. Golem probably should have been used on tier 1 as well. I didn't think about it. That was my bad. So yeah, Golem on every tier. It is multi-summon and Moogle Cup. Beautiful thing. 10 hits? Okay, good. Skip. Not much to be said about this fight at this point. Doesn't look like we got quartered, so that is good luck.
Man, oh man.
This is kind of a rough fight here. We still wanted to be doing Ultimas with Realm. Probably Ultima into Edgar fighting Girl. Ultima won't kill Girl, but Edgar would finish her off after the Ultima. Whirlwind may be great if Strago gets hit. Okay, that's actually not bad. It sucks because you have no healing, but we are doing 12,000 damage with Strago, which is pretty great. He's at like 7,000 now. It'll be like 17,000. So we want to get him within 12,000 damage of death. That's what we're really looking for. The downside is he would be doing over 20,000 right now if he was front rowed.
One punch with Edgar and then the VK should do it.
Ooh, that might suck.
Push him.
Think you'll be okay? It shouldn't do 9s or anything. Oof, ooh, it's really close. It's really, really close. But I think it's close enough to send. Good job remembering Golem.
Because if I get medioed, I'm like completely toast. And my count's real bad right now.
I think you're probably there. It's going to be close. I mean, you needed to have him at like 28,000 and you like, that Pearl is what saved you. Without the Pearl, you probably would not have killed him and you would have gotten medioed or trained or whatever. So that worked out. Good job on that. You Ultima, you crack a shield with Sabin, because you might as well. So Ultima with Realm, Strago attacks the VK, Sabin cracks a shield, Edgar attacks. Just make sure you heavily weight trick, and you will definitely do 30,000 damage to him. You definitely have the gas for it. Just don't use it. Just attack with a VK. Good. Crack that shield.
Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
It's toward the top somewhere, I'm sure. Beautiful. Weight trick. Ooh, we didn't weight trick. Okay. I think we're still fine, but we would have probably wanted to weight trick just in case. Good. Okay. Perfect. So that's out of Fallen one. We do want to be careful. You are now going to be... Oh, you're playing a risky game. Playing a risk. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. You had me a little scared there because you were kind of edging toward counter / Ultima phase, but he went into Goner phase, and you will be fine with weight tricking. That'll be a good GG on here. That was an expert. That was an expert level Final Kefka. Like, that was pretty textbook.
Oh, man.
Literally the only thing I can say about it is that queuing that Ultima before Goner Charge started was very risky. It worked out, but it was risky. It did open you up to a potential counterattack if he didn't go into Goner phase first. So everything that you did there, I think, was exactly what I would have done. In fact, you know it's exactly what I would have done because I said exactly what I would do, and you went Ultima, unequipped shield, use the VK, crack the shield, attack with Edgar. 100%. Like, nailed it. Really, really good. So, let's see. Let me go through a few things in general that I think could be worked on. Some smaller stuff. When it comes to shops, you have a tendency to go in, read it really fast, and then exit out and go, oh wait, I saw something, and then go back into it and then go buy it. Try to avoid that as much as possible. Take an extra second or two to process before you exit out, because that does add up every single time you open up the shop. Your airship, I would say airships need to be worked on quite a bit. I would recommend when you get into your airship, fast turn to where you're going, fly straight at it, and then narrow it into a spot right next to the town with Y strafing with your airship, landing close by every single time. You might be a little slow with it at first, with the micro adjusting it to where you need to go, but the goal is as you continue to do it every single time, it gets easier and easier and easier and easier until you don't have to think about it anymore. So, practice right the first time and you don't have to fix it later, right? So keep that in mind. Some of the looking for earrings is a thing, sure. I don't look for them super heavily. I will look at one other town. So I would do like Narsh. I would check South Figaro. I would check Zen. And then if I check anywhere else, cool. Like if I'm doing towns anyway, like World of Ruin South Figaro or World of Ruin Zen, and I'm checking those and I still haven't found them after my opener, I might go to one other place. And my choice is usually to go to Thamasa. You can do Thamasa because all the shops are right up front and there's loot around the town. That's my preferred. But the closer one is Albrook, and you can do Albrook. It's got the relic shop. It's got loot throughout the town. It's got one in the weapon shop, two in the armor shop, one in the relic shop. You got loot there too, and a full loop of shops that you can do. So, either one is good. You still may not find it, but I generally, if I haven't found it at that point, I'm done. But I will always check the relic shops en route to somewhere else. So you were in Jador and you did not check the relic shop. There were no earrings anywhere else. Like, it was narrowed down so much that it's a really good chance earrings were there. So keep that in mind. You don't need to go way out of your way for stuff, but there's no like harm in checking it, because if you find it, the benefits, especially the earlier you find it, the benefits of it are massive. So keep that in mind. A couple other things. Let's go over your party here. Early on, you had Sabin, who had fixed dice, and you used them without the free offering. You never used it, and it got you into a lot of trouble on some big bosses, particularly Doomgaze, Chatternook. You had some fights that took you a very long time that could have probably just been solved by attacking with him with the offering instead. You had Strago. Unfortunately, you had him with the VK build, and it was looking really good, but you never front rowed him the entire game. So he was doing half damage forever. The only time we ever saw full damage was when he was reverse polarity in tier 1, and we got to see what he could have been, but unfortunately he was just half as effective the entire game. We also had a Atlas armlet that was just chilling on Sabin literally forever that you never put on Edgar. So Edgar is missing 25% damage the entire game. So we had kind of half-baked builds across the board. Hero rings were an option, even if it was just for Realm. Like getting a couple of those just for her would have been fine. It's 40,000, but you would have had that money if we had Edgar in the front for South Figaro. So just some of the things that were missed ended up culminating into like an inability to get everything we needed. And you maybe didn't even remember the hero rings because they're expensive. I think they were World of Balance South Figaro, but would have been good. They're makeshift earrings. So you can use them if you really have to, just on your primary caster. So just kind of keep that in mind. Relic optimization is a big deal. So yeah, I feel like the relics were not properly optimized across your group to get maximum damage. When it comes to battles, especially early on, you have a tendency to use weak attacks too often. So frequently characters don't need to act at all. Pick your biggest attackers and utilize them as much as possible. And then your weak crap characters who's doing like 400 damage with a bolt 2, it takes forever to cast the bolt 2. It does almost no damage. During a boss, it usually provokes a counter, which takes more time and more damage that you may waste more time using Phoenix Downs or healing on. And it all just kind of like, it all compounds into like time loss. Maximizing your strongest offense across the seed is always going to be the way that you save time start to finish. So battles are always going to be your primary amount of time spent in a seed. So if you can optimize that as much as possible, you will save the most time by optimizing your battles. Frequently, newer players are getting 45, 50 plus minutes just in battle, while higher end players are going to get anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes on average. So, across everything else in the entire seed, that's already in upwards of 20 minutes that higher level players will get just from battle optimization. Let's see. Let me go through some things in my head here. I think that about covers it. There was a couple like interesting routing choices. You know, a little bit of bouncing around, a little bit of not optimized flight, like looping around to go to South Figaro instead of just flying straight to it and taking about a 50% extra flight time. You know, some of the lines could have been a little cleaner. I think I would have definitely checked Mobliz before doing Fanatics Tower because of how long Fanatics Tower is, or even Welk, just to see if you can get that last Esper a little quicker. But I don't think it was that big of a deal. Maybe you lost a minute with that decision, but at least it was a guaranteed, and you got what you needed, and you didn't bother fighting the dragon, so you didn't get sidetracked and go fight him too and waste more time. You really didn't need levels. I think the last thing that I can say is just that, you know, you did go into Kefka very, 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 very sketchy when it comes to items. You had no X potions, you had no elixirs, you had no ethers, you had 3 Phoenix Downs. I don't think you had life. You had no healing. So the fact that you got through this whole fight with only 1 death in tier 1 is frankly miraculous. It very well could have just gone way worse. You could have gotten countered more. You could have gotten hit with more direct spells, lost 3 people in tier 2 alone, and just been stuck dead and reset. So be mindful of how many Phoenix Downs you have and go buy some. You know, go check a couple item shops. There's an item shop right in front in Zen. There's an item shop right in front in Albrook. Better to be safe, because resetting on Kefka in tier 2, you've already lost 3 or 4 minutes. Boom. When you could have just gone to a shop, spent 1 minute, and boom, you got all what you needed and you're done. So keep that in mind. This seed was very, very, very low healing. So keeping in mind some ways to heal are also there. So a couple tips and tricks that you could have. One, you had Mantra. The problem is, Homeboy, you had no healing. So having him with a shield would have been good, but he had a gauntlet, so you couldn't even do that. So really, Mantra was not very good in this particular seed. Shield healing was like your only real thing without X potions or elixirs to keep him up, and using Mantra. So equipping a fire shield, using fire 2 on him, boom, he's healed. Putting a bolt shield, using bolt 2 on him, boom, he's healed. That kind of thing. Shield healing is absolutely effective. So it's an option. In this one, you kind of just went balls to the wall. You sent it. It worked out really, really good. The enemies did not do anything too crazy. You did use Golem in tier 2, which was fantastic choice, because 10 hits would have absolutely sucked, eaten up all your Phoenix Downs, and you would have been very sad. So good job remembering that. Both of us forgot that we should have used Golem in tier 1 to protect from all the punches and from short arms. So anyway, I think that's about it. That should cover the bases pretty well. Overall, I think it was a really good run. Sub 30 is sub 90, very, very good. You know, obviously with the optimizations, you probably could have had this down at closer to a 115. So, you know, you're definitely on the right track with optimizations, faster combat, staying out of your menu and fiddling around as much as you kind of did, especially at the end. Appropriate relic usage and moving them around as needed all really would really knock that time down so very much. So just keep drilling away at it, get those reps in, and it's just going to get faster and faster. So look forward to seeing how things go. I'm not sure if you're in the Atma series, but if not, I look forward to seeing how it goes in Moogle Cup. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. You can in the comments, whatever, but we also have a direct message in Discord, so you can message me whenever you need. Anybody who's watching this, sound off in the comments below if you have any comments or questions or whatever. You can message me on Discord as well, but otherwise I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.